Next season, the Barnstormers are excited to announce that a homegrown hero will officially join the team. This local legend has career stats that'll turn a few heads. With a career average of .124 and a lifetime ERA is a staggering 9.36. He is a 5-tool player any IBL team would love to have on their bench.
Bench? I'm in the booth.
I thought that's why I'm here.
You're way too expensive.
All right, I'm out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, join us tomorrow night for Star Wars night here at Fergie Jenkins Field. Get your lightsabers out, fake ones only. At the end of the third inning, it's your Barnstormers 4, Mellon 2.
This tonight because Dom and everybody else was like, they were like, "Why isn't he wearing the shirt?"
Right I know. I got the hoodie on, but you can't really see it. Maybe I got to tilt my screen a little bit more.
No, you're
Maybe
okay.
Move this up there. All right.
You're all right. So we're in the episode 2 of The Voices in Our Game, and joining us tonight is the Hop Father himself, Mr. Jeff Hopman, which you guys will know as the voice of the Chatham Barnstormers. If you go down to the ball games down at Fergie Jenkins Field, you'll be the man on the mic, entertaining you guys all night. That almost rhymed. So how did you get
thanks
into...
for having me, Neil.
Yeah, no problems. How did you get into broadcasting, announcing, stuff like that? Everybody's got a weird story how it happened.
Yeah, I'll give you the condensed version. I went to school to get into this field, like broadcasting, whether radio, television. And I graduated, deep in debt, and I quickly found out, these jobs don't pay that well.
No, they don't.
So
they don't. Funny.
And I was looking to get married and start a family. So I ended up working for our local police service as a 911 operator. So I wasn't in broadcast radio, I was in police radio. And the money was good. And soon after that, I was married and had a mortgage and kids. And it was just like, I can't leave this. I got a pension. I've already. So I started doing YouTube videos and whatnot, but not really using, because I have my bachelor's in communication, but I wasn't using it at all. Years and years went by. And then the president of Chatham Minor Baseball, who's also my boss at the police service, Jason Jakowski, my camera's shaking a little bit here. He talked to me about playing in this men's league called Glory Days. It's an over 35 men's league. And I said, do you guys do walk-ups? And do you have the sound effects and all that stuff? He's like, no, we had a high school student do that at one point, but he's not with us anymore. And I said, I'd rather do that than actually play in this league. So that's actually how I got it started in baseball. I did that for 2 years. And then, because he was involved with Chatham Minor Baseball and he got word that an IBL team was coming, and, I started putting a lot more effort into it and met with Dom, and the rest is kind of history.
Yes. If anybody hasn't checked out your Instagram or your YouTube channel, I definitely got to go do that. I was having fun this afternoon, just absolutely watching some of the highlights, some of the shorts, some of the clips. Even the long form stuff, I was just dying laughing in my office. Everybody's like, "What are you watching? What are you watching?" I'm like, "Well,
that was just it." I started because I had this knowledge of how to edit video and what would be captivating content. But I was so busy with my family. I'm like, I'm just going to start a family vlog, right? And that's basically what I started with. Was like, I don't have time to go out and create things. I'm stuck with all my kids. I love them to death, but I'm busy with them, so I'll create a family vlog, and that's kind of how it got started. Now they're growing up; they don't want to be on Dad's vlog anymore. So I've just kind of evolved into a bunch of shorts and a lot of sports content, because that seems to get a lot of likes and follows. So.
Are you okay after the Lions made their early exit in the playoffs? Are you still kind of feeling the taints about that? I'm going, I don't want to go there, but we got to go there.
I did ask my wife. I was kind of depressed, because it was like, well, what now? Like, football is great because, and it's kind of like the IBL. Every game is important. You're only playing 40 baseball games. Every game is important, and football is the same way. I love Major League Baseball, but we got to admit the season is so long, and the NHL season, I think, is way too long too. And we're not quite in that playoff hunt chase just yet. This Four Nations Cup has been exciting, but so I was really suffering the winter blues, but I'm starting to get out of it now. Spring training starting, and this Four Nations Cup has got me intrigued, and we'll be getting into the playoffs here soon in the NHL. So I'm doing okay, but it did drag me down quite a bit.
Yep. So we got to talk about the nicknames for the theme nights. So who comes up with them? do you come up with them, or is it just does Dom sit down with you and you guys will make a list together? Do you guys ask the guys, hey, I don't know, it's cats and dogs night. What do you want your your
Yeah,
name
so
to be tonight?
it starts with a theme, and honestly, I don't even remember how I did it the first time. It was just like, I'm just gonna try this. And the great thing about Dom, the owner of the Barnstormers, is he's all about the show and the
Yep.
spectacle. So if I have a crazy idea, he never shoots me down. So I forget what theme it was the first time. I'm like, let's just throw nicknames in there. And honestly, Neil, it's actually quite difficult because I don't know the lineup. I could sit at home and make a lineup,
Yep.
nickname for every single player on the roster, but I don't know who's going to be playing that night. So I get the I get the lineup card, and that's when I'm scribbling them out, trying to come up with these. And I got Dan Dominguez, who's our scorekeeper. He comes down and helps me out sometimes, and we'll do some fun things like that too. If I have time, I'll tailor like the visiting teams walk ups
Yep.
in tune with the theme of the night. And so, yeah, it's fun. And I started just shooting those. I was actually in the middle of I was producing one short or TikTok or Instagram a day for a year. That was a goal
Yep.
I set for myself, and I did it. But those were easy. Those were easy ones to do because
Well,
it's like, well,
exactly.
I'm doing my Instagram, I'm doing my Barnstormer stuff. It's just doing it all at once. So it's been fun.
Exactly. I guess we got to touch on the game you got tossed out of, which is how the heck is it?
No, I knew it was going to come up.
Everything comes up against the Guelph Royals, it seems. So it's just like it's like the Guelph Royals seem to bring out the worst in people or the best in people, depending on which way you're on the coin you're.
Yeah, so I'm gonna honestly say that was one of the biggest miscommunication, bad communication on behalf of the umpires, the IBL, and myself, and our coaching staff and our GM. So, home plate umpire Isaac, he did the
Yep.
night before. He was
Yep.
a behind home plate, and I think he got upset with what I was doing. And I admit I was pushing the envelope. I was questioning his calls. I was doing all kinds of things. Like I had sound clips that I no longer use. I'm not sure if you're familiar with. I think you should leave this TV show. And
Yep.
there's this meme where this guy's like, "Are you sure about that? Are
Yep.
you sure about that?" So on a questionable pitch, I would, he would call a strike and I would hit the button. "Are you sure about?" And I had a whole bunch, right?
Yep.
And I knew I was pushing the envelope, but I thought nobody's ever warned me. I'll see how far I can go. So next day, he's no longer behind home plate. He's coaching third base.
Umpire, yep.
A third of the way through the game, the GM comes over to me and says, "The home plate umpire wants you to stop playing music." I'm thinking, this makes no sense, right? Like, don't play music. Obviously, or the third base umpire wants you to stop playing music. Obviously, he was saying shut down the sound effects, but it was communicated to me, stop playing music.
Yeah.
So I just like, that's not right. There's something going on here. So he'll come talk to me anyway. So I kept playing music, kept doing my thing, and then eventually I got tossed. And it still kind of bothers me. Like, he should have just came up and talked to me after the game that he was behind home plate, or he could have came up and said no more sound effects. I would have totally understood at that point, but there was just too much going on, and we all learn. So after that point, I ditched a lot of my sound effects, and
that's a lot more tame than what actually happened in Guelph. I want to say probably 12, 15 years ago beforehand. There was a third base coach from Toronto, and this really big burly guy that I swear worked in either adult clubs or women's clubs, like for ladies' night. He was really built, really built. And
was it the Hamilton PA? Was it the Hamilton guy?
No, it wasn't.
When I watched the Hamilton games, I think the Hamilton PA guy sounds like he belongs in an adult club.
I'll tell Josh that when I have him on the show.
It does. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
I'll tell Josh that. Yeah. No, but yeah, I just remember they came up the one day and it was just like they're yelling at our PA guy. It's like, "You got to stop doing this, blah, 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 blah." Like, he scared the crap out of me. At the time, I was thinking it was like maybe I was maybe 18 and 19. I was working in the press box. I think I was scoring that game. It was just like, that was the most terrifying 3 minutes of my life. Just 'cause this big burly guy up there and this old gentleman who I guess he was a scout. His name was Terry Steves. God bless his soul and everything else. He was a coach for the Leafs for many, many years as well, and just a legend in the league. So it's just, I guess they were having a bad day. So it was just crazy as far as that stuff goes. So that was a long story short, but it was just a scary thing to see a player and a coach come up to the press box, especially at Hastings Stadium, and start chewing out our PA announcer.
I believe it. What was he doing exactly?
I think it was just music and whatever. We weren't crazy. I don't think we were doing it like this was before the walk up era and everything else. It was just like,
Oh, okay.
late 90s, early
Gotcha.
2000s. So it wasn't even a walk up or anything. He just didn't like what was going on. So they had words with poor
Yeah.
Norm McCall.
Well, we've all seen that the Three Blind Mice one is
Yeah.
been circling the internet for years, and that was going around town that I played Three Blind Mice. That wasn't the case.
Well,
at
I
all,
saw
but
the clip
whatever.
right after. I'm going, wait a minute, that's not Jeff. This is another game.
Yeah, no, that was a higher level ball for that one too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, yeah. So what kind of advice would you give somebody that wants to get into doing this public address announcing stuff, or just even the local kids doing it, for high schools and stuff?
I'm the wrong guy to ask to because, like I said, I just kind of stumbled into it. I mean, like I said, I have a degree in it. I think if you can if kids are going to school for broadcasting, just know you're not gonna graduate and walk right into that
No.
morning show or whatever. You're really gonna have to grind and volunteer and get your feet wet. And if you're passionate about it, you'll stick with it. Me,
Yep.
I was not in a position just to this is my dream. I'm going to pursue it. I was more like, I have bills. I have to pay them. So, I went maybe the smarter route,
Lady,
but not
this
the
guy
passionate
is
route,
putting
but-
my kids through college.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yep.
one thing I've learned through all of this is you don't necessarily have to work in a field that you're passionate about. I mean, I still with the Chatham-Kent Police, and I care, but am I passionate about it?
Mhm.
Not necessarily. What I'm passionate about is this,
Yep.
and I love the Barnstormers and I love doing it and I love vlogging. I love making shorts. Those are my passions. Maybe you would consider them hobbies or whatever,
Yep.
but stick with it. And if you don't get a career in it, you still have in 2025 with all the social media, you still have lots of opportunities to, have a creative outlet. So
Exactly.
yeah, just stick with it.
Oh no. And the other thing I would just say, be honest, be passionate, be yourself as much as you can be, project that image a little more as far as, hey, maybe come over a little bit over the top but sometimes, but underneath and everything else, your heart's in the right place as far as that stuff, and just be honest about it and be genuine.
Yeah. You were telling me that you used to do play-by-play on Madden games or NHL games, right?
NHL games. Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
I got
in the off season.
in the off season. Well, I got my start in high school. I was doing a co-op placement for Channel 8, which was McLean Hunter cable TV. So that's how I got hooked up with the Guelph Royals. And originally Billy Craven, who was running baseball in Guelph and everything else, saw me talking to one of the players before one of the games, and he stopped me on the way and he said, "Kid, do you mind go up and do the announcing today? Because our PA guy can't make it." I'm like, "Sure." Like I had no clue what was going on. They didn't give me a script, anything. So I was just kind of winging it. But I always had the I guess the know-how and everything else. I would do it in high school. I would do like the morning announcements. I would do the announcings for the basketball players.
Actually, now that you mention of it, yeah.
And so and then it got to the point in high school where people were like, "Hey, we got to do this little plug for whatever. Do you mind doing like a little 30-second spot for us?" And come up with various things. Like I think the one thing for like the athletics dance or something is the theme from Magnum PI or something in the background.
Oh yeah,
put some fun stuff into it. That was
I still have that on my soundboard. Actually, it's a classic.
Yeah, it is classic. Yeah. But that's how I got started. And then just from that stuff, it was just the relationship worked with Billy and everything else. And I somehow over the years, more people got me to do various other things. But yeah, I had to.
And now you do so much.
Yeah, it's like now sometimes
you're like the unintentional face of the IBL, really. The amount of teams you do, and when I watch your games, the knowledge that you have of this league that honestly, Neil, I didn't even know existed 5 years ago. I mean, it's crazy how much you've got up here.
Well, exactly.
So, and good on you for it.
Well, thank you. And it was just even this off season. It's just like I'm constantly reading on the stuff that I didn't know about from like the 1960s, 1970s with the Negro League stuff and everything else. It's just like it's been an eye opening as far as that stuff goes, and getting a chance to interview some of these people too. And it was just like, wow, it's just crazy as far as how it's kind of taken off into its own little world here.
Yeah, I don't know if I could actually do the play-by-play like you guys do. I think that would be tougher than what I do.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, sometimes it
just
is,
to keep the content flowing.
Well, exactly, especially in a game. Well, we went into it the game 3 of the playoffs. It's like, okay, we're not going to mention the score anymore. We're just going to focus on the positives, because it's like nobody needs to see. It's like that Simpsons.
No, I watched that game in its entirety. Yeah, there's a lot of Barnstormers fans because we knew it was going to be our last game, so we just stayed in the chat. We're just kind of consoling each other there as best we could.
Yeah. No, but you guys had a great season, and I think that was like I keep telling Dom, I keep telling Harry, I keep telling anybody I talk to about the Barnstormers. Hey, they're on the right path. It's just they just needed a couple things to go their way this year, and they're going to turn some heads.
Yeah, well, I hope so. It was fun last year.
It was.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Yeah. So, of the guys you got to announce this year, was there any things you had any personal favorites or anything as far as like when you were with nicknames and stuff, or just?
I mean, Seth Strong he's an easy one, and the fans just got behind him so much. But honestly, and my nephew does social media. He doesn't like it when I give Josh Garton credit because Josh gets enough he gets enough celebrity himself. But that guy, man, we need more Joshes in the league. He would ham it up. I would troll him, not mean, but I would make little side jabs and comments. And when he would walk up, I would play like sappy love song or whatever. But he would just totally embrace it, and he would dance up to the plate, like pretending his bat was his dance partner. That guy was so fun to have at the ballpark. Some of the London guys, we got a little bit of a rivalry with London, even though they own the rivalry, but I think we had to institute a rivalry because they're so close. We're like, you're a rival now, and they're like, we've never even played you before, but okay, right? But some of the London
there's a YouTube video right in that right now. We're gonna have to do that one sometime. Oh, we have to get some London gear on. We'll just do it. What, we're rivals now? Come on, what?
Exactly.
We've never played each other.
So yeah, it's been fun, and some of the more fun names. We got Fukuda and Vasilanic, and we got some good ones. So
I know everybody. I get a kick out of everybody. I guess from the Barnstormers family on YouTube will correct the PA announcers or the poor broadcasters saying the name wrong. It's like it's Vasilanic.
It's hard.
It's just like,
it's hard.
And he's back. He's back, and then Dom doesn't send us pronunciation guide either, so it's just like, oh man, come on.
Because Dom can't pronounce anything.
I know
himself.
He can't. He's a French guy. What do you expect? Unless it's Tabernacle, you don't understand. I love you, Dom.
He's the best.
Yes. So, what are you looking for most to this year, as far as anything standing out? Do you guys have you seen the theme list? Are we allowed to disclose any of those things yet? Or
a lot of the same themes as last year, which makes things easier for me because I saved all my visitor walk-ups for whether it's country night or disco night. There's some new ones in there that I'm looking forward to, and then some of them you can't ham up too much. It's not like it's in there, but like Black History Month. I mean, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to go anywhere with that. No. We'd have to totally show respect. So it'd be just a traditional game, which is fine too. But we're working on our things, and it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. I don't have anything really that stands out. I got a photo of it, but it'll take me too long to find it here. So,
no worries.
But every game is an adventure. It's always fun. A couple of my most fondest memories from last year were like we had a rain out, and
that guy with the pizza.
We didn't know what to. But we had a rain out, and it turned into a huge sing along under the covered area, the grandstands there. Nobody was leaving, and it was just like a big old family party. That's the way Dom explained it. He was exactly right. Another game we were getting blown out, and I had a group of kids that kind of came from the bleachers to sit in the good seats because they were open, because a lot of the season ticket holders had left, and they were singing along to every soundbite I had. It was just another one of my fondest moments. It had actually nothing to do with baseball. It was it was just the people that we got to share that time with. So I'm looking forward to that too.
That is outstanding. So I gotta let you plug the Instagram. You got to plug the YouTube as well, because we want to send some traffic your way.
So it's the Hop Father. I think it's all one word on YouTube and TikTok. I'm there, and I've kind of started to keep my Instagram like that's personal stuff, like that's the photos of my wife and kids and whatnot. But there's a lot of junk on there too. But that's just something I've been doing in the last few months here. Is like, you want to find me for socials, like YouTube and TikTok as the Hop Father would be the best way to do that.
Jeff Hopman, thanks so much for your time tonight, sir. Looking forward to taking down to Chatham and sitting within your vicinity. I don't want to cramp your style when we come down.
Oh no, come on down. It's we'll have a good chat. It's gonna be fun this year. We've got some new additions to our field entertainment, and we've got Alana from the local morning show. She's going to be helping with on-field games and whatnot to take some of the load off me and Dom. It's going to be good.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time, Jeff.
All right, Neil. Thank you.